Well, I had a very lucky donation to my channel and to my little air rifle collection. These three air rifles were presented to me just the other day by the same chap who gave me the other rifles that I've restored on my channel, and he said if I could do anything with these, then I was more than welcome to have them, and I'm very pleased to have them. So what we have here is, on the bottom, this one, that's a Webley Junior. Again, that's a boy's rifle, really. Then we have a Milbro Model 16, which is also a boy's rifle. And most interesting for me, anyway, out of this lot, is the one at the top. This is a Harrington Gat air rifle, and just works on exactly the same principle as Gat pistols, but obviously it's a rifle, so that's unusual. Now in this video we're going to be concentrating on the Milbro Model 16. The last of the three donated air rifles, finally got around to doing something about it. This is a Milbro Model 16. These were made by Milbro from 1949 to 1974. A bit difficult to date exactly when this one is, but obviously it's at least 52 years old, so, and it is in a pretty appalling state. Most of the lacquer is missing from the stock. The trigger guard is also missing. The two front fixing screws that hold the action into the stock, they're gone. But oh, and the rear sight is also missing. I think it snapped off at some point. But other than that, as far as I can tell, it's complete. We're going to get it apart and have a look inside, but I can see a spring, and it cocks and fires, so I think it probably is complete inside. But we obviously need to get it apart to determine that properly. So we'll have a quick look at the other side. These are identical to the Diana Model 16 because I don't know whether you're aware, but Milbro, as part of Second World War reparations, took over Diana's tooling and the brand name, and from 49 onwards they started manufacturing air guns under their name, but they're basically Diana's. So let's have a look down the length of it. Again, stock's in really poor condition. You can see the missing trigger guard there, and that's the other front mounting screw that's missing. Barrel is all really rusty, so yeah, not good. So the first job is to get it apart, and the only remaining screw holding it is this one that goes all the way through from one side to the other, and I've had a go at trying to loosen it off, but it's very tight, so I may have to unfortunately drill that one out. I did manage to close it on that. You can see they've got these kind of slotted nuts, which are always a pain, particularly if they're corroded in like that. So that one not moving. Those two that are part of the actual action, they also use those captive slotted nuts, but I've actually managed to loosen those off, so I should be able to get those out. But the other one, no, I think that's going to require a little bit of extra force. Well, I've got it apart, but did have to drill out that. It was just corroded in there, so I'll have to make a new one of those. I think that's 3/16 BSF, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Got a die for that. So the next thing is to get this apart. From what I can tell from having a look online, the end cap just pulls off or taps off, and then you've got to remove this pin, and that will allow us to take out the spring and the plunger assembly. Well, it actually comes apart quite easily. Once you remove that pin, this is the spring follower, and there is a little tiny lip. You see those two tags on the end there? You actually, basically, they're in slots. You rotate it out of the slots, and there's a little tiny bit of spring pre-tension, and then it comes apart. Spring's in pretty good nick. In fact, all of it's in pretty good nick. A bit rusty, but given its age, it's not too bad. There's the piston. This is very hard, the seal on the end. And again, it's another one of those where it looks like it's been riveted in place. So we'll see what we can do about that. But no, other than rust, it's not a bad nick at all. In order to remove what was left of the rear sight, which is this little tiny bit of metal here, I had to do a little bit more disassembly. I had to take the barrel, which is this part, from the barrel shroud. Now this is a fairly simple thing to do. Basically, you unscrew front sight, then you tap off the barrel end cap. It's on the muzzle part of the barrel shroud. That then, once that's off, you can then get a drift in there and tap this out, which is the actual barrel itself. So this is the broken off part of the rear sight, and that was originally poking out through that slot there. And what it does is it sits, this piece sits in this flat there on the end of the this part, this shroud that goes around the end of the barrel, and then that bit sticks out through that slot, and then the rest of the rear sight goes back that way with the screw for elevation, which threads into there. So that's basically what happened. And of course, without taking this out, you cannot get this out. There's no way that will come out without removing this. But as I said, this comes out fairly simply. So and also, of course, you need to do that to fit the new rear sight, which I haven't made yet. So next part is to get on with the cleanup process, which is just a hell of a lot of wire wheel work to clean all the rust off, just clean everything up, and then I'll need to make a new rear sight for it, which is fairly straightforward because it's simply it's simply a thin bit of tin plate with a bend in it. So yeah, hopefully that shouldn't be too difficult. Well, about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes work with the wire wheel, and I've got all of the parts cleaned up. If you're doing any kind of restoration work on air rifles, the wire wheel is an essential tool. It makes the cleanup process really easy. Now, I've left this part of the barrel untouched. I didn't bother doing anything with that on the wire wheel because it's in very good condition. The paint on there is fine, and this is inside the barrel shroud, so you can't see that anyway. I've also left a little tiny bit of the original paint on the end where the muzzle cap goes on. That's just for my benefit, so I can compare that to the finish I get once I've done the bluing. So with this lot, well, those two bits and these bits anyway, the bluing part, that's the next stage. Well, if you watched any of my other air rifle restoration videos or airgun restoration videos, you know the drill by now for the whole chemical bluing process. All of the parts that I'm going to attempt to blue have been thoroughly cleaned using acetone, and then they've been washed in water and dried off. So that's the prep work that I do. Now the next stage is to actually do the chemical bluing, and I'll show you. I'm not going to show you all of them. Might be doing it to all of these parts, but I will show you. We'll do the barrel shroud, and you can see what happens there. But basically, you apply the chemical blue, you leave it on for something like 30 seconds, or basically you leave it on until it's as dark as you want it to be. Hopefully it will all be a nice uniform colour. Doesn't always work out that way, but you know, I've had a reasonable amount of success with this. And we'll be using Birchwood's Super Blue, as always. I've had very good results with that. And what I'll do is I'll do one part at the time. So we'll blue it, then we'll wash it off with water, and then we'll give it the oil and leave it basically soaking in the oil, and then we'll move on to the next part. Right, let's give it a go. The little bit of locking wire on the end is just so I can hang it up on the retort stand here when it's done. So, then you'll see it turn black almost immediately. I think that first piece turned out okay. Let's tip this up so you can see it. There we go. Not bad at all. Not blotchy, generally uniform black. Doesn't always work that well, I must admit, but it seems to work quite well on this barrel shroud. So I'm going to leave that for probably another half a minute or so, and then I'll wash it off in water, and then we'll coat it in oil, and I'll leave the oil on it overnight, and that basically neutralises any further action by the bluing compound. But well, first one, a success. It's the following day and the bluing treatment is now finished, and it's turned out really well. It doesn't always work as well as this, but this time around obviously I did a good job cleaning them up. Cleaning up, preparation is everything when you're doing this process. But yeah, it's nice uniform colour, no streaks or anything. It's turned out really well, so well pleased with that. Now the next stage is to build the replacement rear sight, because I can't put the barrel back inside the barrel shroud until I've got a rear sight to fit to it. So that will be the next stage. I still need to make the trigger guard as well, and then we can move on to working on the stock.